Hello, greetings from Real World Ranching by your host, Jim Elizondo. Today's topic is stockpiling grass isn't just for winter. It builds your soil for the long haul. For a long time, grazing management has focused on maintaining grasses in the vegetative state. We have been taught that our livestock do better by keeping our grasses vegetative and not allowing them to go to seed. Do you relate to this? We were told to move our livestock fast when the grass was growing fast, and slow when the grass was growing slow, and that somehow this would make us more money by improving life performance. Sadly, that is not what we observe out on the land. What are the consequences of trying to maintain your whole farm vegetative by moving your livestock fast in spring? Well, if you have primarily full season forages, your livestock will be scouring in early spring due to a lack of fiber in the forage. Ruminants need fiber to chew their cud, something many forget. And very importantly, the new regrowth of your pastures will be overgrazed, shortening your plant's roots and reducing your grass productivity for the whole year. Overgrazing is grazing a plant before it has fully recovered, and new shoots coming up in the spring are not fully recovered in the plant's energy reserves, which are in roots and crowns. Trying to maintain your grasses vegetative by grazing the tops off, as they say, is not a good idea, and I will explain. Have you ever carefully observed how livestock graze? Do they select the best and reject the rest? Yes, they do. It's like when you offer candy and broccoli to children and saying, finish the broccoli before the candy and I will return tomorrow to check on you. What do you think the children will do? Of course, they will eat all the candy and leave the broccoli. Well, the same happens with your livestock when you allow them to select, and they will choose if you try to make them consume only the tops of your plants. Look closely when they are grazing. Livestock are not machines. They select the highest sugar content part of the plant and the highest quality species. They reject the lower parts higher in fiber of your best forage species and the undesirable forage species, leaving more low-quality residual and allowing your undesirable forage species and brush to prosper and take over your pasture. Besides your livestock getting scoured and your pastures dropping productivity by 3 to 5 times due to overgrazing, shortening roots, what else suffers when you allow selective grazing? Stocking rate. And stocking rate determines profits on a livestock grazing business. The number of productive livestock you can maintain at a low cost per year determines your profits, and nothing else compares to this importance. What other and very important thing suffers when selective grazing by trying to maintain your pastures vegetative? Your soil fertility. Yes, your soil fertility is determined by its levels or content of long-lived soil carbon or humus. And this is not created when trying to maintain all your pastures vegetative. What if one simple shift in your grazing strategy could double your stocking rate, save money on hay, and build rich, fertile soil that lasts for generations? Graziers have been told to chase forage quality and avoid over-mature grass for years. Some of that is true, but what if that advice has been costing you your natural soil fertility? What if that advice has been costing you animal health and lower performance? I will let you on the secret to increasing your long-lived soil carbon or natural soil fertility. It's very simple. We stockpile a section of the property for a full year while focusing on livestock health animal performance, and conversion efficiency in the green season. Doing this creates a standing hay reserve, which saves you around $300 per cow per year, improves soil fertility, recruits the best forest species seedlings, and makes your soil spongier. At Real Wealth Ranching, we've seen it firsthand. Something incredible happens when you allow grasses to mature and stockpile them to use as standing hay in the difficult seasons of the year. The soil gets darker, spongier, and more productive. The grass responds to this with leafier regrowth, and your livestock thrive, all with less cost in hay and less effort. We call it long-lived soil carbon, the foundation of sustainable fertility, and it's what people have been mining off the soil worldwide for millennia. Let's differentiate between short-lived and long-lived carbon in your soil. Short-lived carbon lasts only a few months, while long-lived carbon can last over 100 years and determines productivity and quality of products. Why do most grazing programs only build short-lived soil carbon? Under conventional set stocking and even rotational grazing systems, plants are grazed down in their active growing phase. During these times, the sugars in the root exudates feed bacteria, and while that's important, that only creates short-lived soil carbon. Most of it is respired back into the atmosphere within weeks or months. This happens whenever we graze pastures in the green season, when their energy reserves are going down after grazing and up when recovering, but they never get full. Now I'm going to talk to you about the stockpiling shift, how to build soil fertility that lasts over 100 years. When grasses are allowed to mature fully and then continue photosynthesizing, they store energy in the roots and crowns. Once these energy reserves are full, the root exudates shift from sugary to fatty with more complex amino acids. These new compounds feed fungi, the builders of long-lived soil carbon. Fungi-dominated soil gets spongier. In north central Florida, we improved sandy soil from 1% organic matter to 3.18% in 5 years by implementing our total grazing program with yearly alternation, the stockpiling section. The soil became darker in color and the smell resembled litter in an old forest. Productivity increased 5 times. Water infiltration improved hugely and biodiversity increased, and we got more wildlife. We call this transformation happy plants. When we get grasses that grow massive leaves, stay vegetative, and keep producing without fertilizing, once the soil carbon is high enough. Conclusion and recap. Your livestock will get scours in early spring and fall when you try to maintain grass vegetative. If you try to maintain grass vegetative by rapidly top grazing your farm, you create overgrazing by allowing selective grazing of your best species. This weakens your best forage species, allowing non-desirable species and brush or weeds to take over your pastures eventually. Hard pan. A shallow hard pan around 3 to 4 inches deep under the soil surface is the result from a lack of strong roots caused by overgrazing, which is grazing grass when it is too young and unrecovered. A lack of strong roots always creates hard pans worldwide. Stocking rate. The number of productive livestock you can maintain at a low cost determines your profits. How can you keep a much higher number of animals without overgrazing? Well, with the total grazing program. Creating long-lived soil carbon doesn't happen in the green season grazing section. It occurs mainly in the stockpiling section, and this is why, under the total grazing program, we stockpile yearly in alternating sections. Then, the fungi to bacteria ratio in your soil improves and it gets spongier, allowing nitrogen from the air, which is 78% of the air you breathe is nitrogen. And then that nitrogen feeds your plants if you have enough soil life. Recruiting your best forage species seedlings only happens in the stockpiling section, as livestock do not return to pull the seedlings from the ground as they would if they were in a rotational grazing program. This is proven by scientific research, observations, experience around the world, and results in the field. By grazing your stockpile grass or standing hay at minimal cost, you can save around $300 per cow annually. And by following the total grazing program, with its 3 sections, you will eventually get what I call happy plants, which grow huge leaves, are higher in quality and yield, and reduce your supplement cost. This is in theory, is repeatable, low cost, and working on farms and ranches across North America. Increase leaf to stem ratio, improve livestock grazing efficiency, healthier livestock, reduce hay costs, restore natural fertility in your soil, and make your soil drought resilient and sponge-like. If you want to read the full scientific article with photos, results, and references, go to www.rwranching.com/soil carbon in one word, or learn how to implement the method step by step in the total grazing program under www.rwranching.com/learn. Thank you for listening. May God bless you. And I will meet you at the Total Grazing Academy, which offers life coaching to ensure your success.